Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ahmaduhu wa salli ala Rasul al-Kareem. So I wanted today to talk about, humanity is now part of the end of times story. Part of the story of the end of times is that humanity has tested everything it could test from a human perspective. We've tested communism and it failed. We've been testing socialism and it's failing. Democracy, with the debacle that happened with Trump and Biden and what is happening, continuing to happen, it's failed. You can see the greatest democracy in the world of India, what it's doing to its so-called second-class Muslim citizens. You can see what democracy, the only democracy in the Middle East, is doing, Israel is doing to the Muslims. You can see what the greatest democracy in the world, United States of America, is becoming. Because when human character becomes ugly and spoiled and corrupted, it doesn't matter what system you have. It's going to fall. And part of this Dajjali reaction that we are in is that Dajjal and Iblis, not Dajjal, but Iblis is now worried. Man has tried everything. Man has tried kingship, it didn't work. And man tried communism and it didn't work. And man's been trying socialism and it's not working. And democracy and it's not working. And the only thing that will work, the only thing that it will end with, because the Prophet said, the only thing that it will now work with, that humanity can live with, that a global human civilization can live with, the only system on earth is that system that enforces the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the laws of Allah are the mercy of Allah, and the laws of Allah are a manifestation of His will on earth, which brings His blessings. And so, it is an obligation for Muslims as part of this end of time scenario. لا يشرك في حكمه أحدا. Allah doesn't accept anyone in authority with Him. He doesn't take up partners in His commandments. وَلَا يُشْرِكْ فِي حُكْمِهِ أَحَدًا. He does not take any partners in His commandments. Okay? And part of the problem is that everyone's face, the Dajjali system always wants to hide itself. Dajjal always wants to hide itself. But now the face is becoming revealed. The truth is coming out. And as the truth comes out, they have to do something, vicious. And so now they're going to stop the Khilafah from coming. They've always tried to stop the Khilafah from coming. They're the ones who broke the Ottoman Khilafah, even though it was not a perfect Khilafah by far stretch of the imagination. It had its problems, but it was a Muslim representation. It had some good into it and it had some bad into it. Like the Prophet had said, that there will come a time where there will be this, it won't be you'll see evil in it and you'll see good in it. This is what he said to the companions of the Prophet. And so that Khilafah has now come to an end because it was representing the Muslims. Then we got these nation states like Pakistan and Turkey and Iran and Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia and all these little countries that were stooges of the West for the most part. The intellectuals and the elite in all these countries were, basically following the imperial, you could say the intellectual imperialism and the physical military imperialism. First it was direct, then it was by remote control. But now we're seeing those systems themselves are beginning to fail. Democracy is on its deathbed. And democracy has shown its ugly face now for a very, very long time. And so now it's time for Muslims to show the world what a just system looks like. What a society looks like when there is no alcohol in it. There's no gambling in it. There's no intermingling of the sexes in the sense of all the sexual anarchy that takes place, right? What happens to a system in which riba is stopped? What happens to a system in which alcohol is stopped? What happens to a system when drugs are stopped? What happens to a system when all the bad things on the internet and all the ugly things and all the lies of advertisement are removed? When all the gossips of tabloids are removed, right? When you are living in a society in which it is everyone's life is sacred, everyone's reputation is sacred, and everything is done according to the justice given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is no ripping off others via interest or via compounded interest or via any other way. And there's no gambling, there's no allowing of being able to sell your daughters into prostitution as a nation. Okay, you don't make women into objects, right? How will it be that when Muslims can finally establish this system in which people can see, oh, here is justice. Here is justice. This is justice. What Muhammad gave us, this is justice. See, the whole world has tried everything. They've tried democracy, failed. They've tried communism, it failed. They've tried socialism, and it failed. Every system has failed, and every system is falling on its face. And then so now for the final deception, one will come. As people become more and more religious, that's going to happen. People are going to become more and more religious, but at the same time, more and more people, Muslims, are going to leave Islam. Atheism will be there still, but Christians will become more religious. Hindus will become more religious. Jews will become more religious. And they don't have a system. Christianity doesn't give you a system. Hinduism and communism, Hinduism and Judaism don't give you a system. And now that you have, the combination of the two great, you can say, haters of Islam, this Kamala Harris lady, she is basically from India. She's going to be very kind to the Hindu nationalists who hate Islam. And Joe Biden, he loves the Jews. He thinks that Israel should have been made even if there was no Israel. So in a situation like that, what will happen? In a situation like that, what will happen is that you will see in the next 4 or 8 years a lot of Islamophobia coming up. And the entire Islamophobia has been targeting two things. Okay? Either the foundation, which is Prophet Muhammad and the Quran, or the system. They don't want that system. Attacking Afghanistan, attacking or creating the ISIS, okay, banning groups that want to establish the Khilafa. All this because this is their greatest fear. Their greatest fear is if mankind just gets a glimpse of this system. If mankind gets a glimpse of Islam, practically established on earth, where they can go and see true brotherhood, true friendship, true trust, no lying in advertisements, right? Just transactions where everyone actually has an opportunity to succeed, not the rich just getting richer. That is the fear that they have when it comes to Islam. The fear that they have is that if Islam unites, then Islam will be able to establish a system that will what? That will put their injustice system to shame. And now that system is falling on its own, khawiyatun ala urushiha. It's falling on its own self. That system that they thought would never finish. Francis Fukuyama wrote the book, The End of End of History. This is it. Democracy. There we are. We're here. Democracy. This is the best. It doesn't get any better than this. No. Democracy, finally, even for a secularist Muslim, even for a radical secularist Muslim, should be able to see that democracy does not answer the needs of human beings. It just makes the rich richer. Because in any system in which someone says, vote for me, any system in which someone says, vote for me, you better vote for me. I'll give you a better world if you vote for me. In any system in which someone says, vote for me and I'll give you a better world, that's going to be an unjust system. that's going to be an unjust system. Muslims need to make the intention that we want to build and we want to bring Khilafah to live under the Qanun of Allah, and to live under the laws of Allah. We want to live under the Qanuns of Allah. And it is only by the Qanun of Allah, by the rules of Allah, by the Ihkam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that these fitans can go away, that are taking over the entire world. It is only by establishing and working for Khilafah that the fitans will dissipate. It is only by establishing the Khilafah that we can truly show mankind what Islam is practically. When we have a Khilafah, we can say to the intellectuals of the world, the journalists of the world, hey, come here, let us show you what a just system looks like. Let us show you a system in which there's no interest. Let us show you a system in which there is a voluntary economic system called sadaqah, and there is a compulsory economic system called zakat. Let us show you a system that shows you that this system could not have been man-made. This is a system in which if you're going to talk to a lady, she's not an object. You have to take her permission before you talk to her. You cannot address a lady in this system unless she addresses you or allows you to address her, unless you're a family member, unless you're a mahram. This is a system that will not sell you products based upon lies. Anyway, I will end here. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. السلام عليكم.